Thank you for joining my lecture. Today, I talk about the period of the Korean Peninsula ruled by Japan for 35 years. Resident General of Korea by Japan in 1905, based on the Second Japan-Korea Agreement. Korean aristocrats Yanban didn't even have cigarettes or books of their own. Yanban was entitled to inflict all kinds of punishment on the ruling class. The Resident General of Korea established by Japan abolished the status system. In response, Yanban protested violently, but was suppressed by Japan, which insisted that equal opportunities for education should be given. The Bank of Korea established as a central bank in 1909. Treaty of Annexation of Korea. It was signed in Seoul on August 22, 1910 by the top of Japan's Resident General of Korea, Terauchi Masatake, and Korea's Prime Minister Lee Won-yoon. Governor General of Korea, established by Japan on August 29, 1910. In Korea, it is thought that Japan had stolen the national script. The Governor General of Korea organized and unified the Hangul, Korean alphabet, which was different depending on the region, and was looked down upon as being used by the lower classes compared to Chinese characters, began to teach Hangul characters in schools. In Korea, it is thought that Japan had expropriated land survey project. From 1909 to 19, the Governor General of Korea conducted surveys and established the ownership of the land. The declared land was granted ownership by the landowner as long as boundary issues were not issued. Undeclared land and state-owned land were requisitioned by the Governor General of Korea and sold to Korean farmers and Japanese at low prices. As a result, real estate prices have stabilized. In Korea, under Japan rule, the Korean people thought that Japan tried to cut off the ground by driving iron piles into famous mountains in order to eliminate the spirit of the Korean people. In the 1990s, the Korean people were obsessed with getting rid of the iron piles. In the first place, Japanese people have no interest in feng shui. It was just the iron piles used during surveying. The Governor General of Korea increased the number of elementary schools from about 100 to 4,271. In 1924, the Keijo Imperial University, now Seoul National University, was established as the 6th Imperial University. In 1925, Seoul Station was completed. In 1926, the Keijo Prefectural Office, now Seoul Special Branch Office, government building was completed. In 1928, the Mitsukoshi Keijo Branch, now Shinsegai Department Store, opened. In 1941, the Spoon Dam began power transmission. Japan had invested a large amount of money in the Korean Peninsula for infrastructure development. Before annexation. After annexation. The Crown Prince of Joseon Ii-un became a royal family equivalent to the imperial family of Japan. He married Queen Masako of the Nashimoto Nomiya family of the imperial family and set up a mansion in Akasaka, Tokyo. March 1st Independence Movement. 33 religious leaders led the Declaration of Independence on March 1st, 1919 in Seoul, and the students responded to the declaration. The Governor-General of Korea suppressed this by force. 8 religious leaders were sentenced to 3 years in prison. From this incident, the Governor-General of Korea ceased to rule by force and replaced it with a rule that recognized various freedoms and rights. Until Japan's defeat in 1945, there was no significant independence movement in the Korean Peninsula. Germany massacre. Under the influence of the March 1st independence movement, rioters killed Japanese on April 15, 1919 in Gyeonggi-do Swan-gun in the Korean Peninsula. Japan set fire to the leaders of the riots, Zionists and Christians, while confining them to the church. The incident was condemned by Western countries. The order permitted Koreans to change their names to Japanese ones. 1939. In Korea, it is thought that Japan took away the names of Koreans. Unlike Japan, Europe, and the United States, the Soshi clan was an attempt to create a new clan family name in Korea, which had a family system of male lineage with separate surnames for married couples, and to change it to something close to the family system in Japan. As a result, the son-in-law adoption system became possible. Until then, the concept of family names had not existed in Korea. The name change was not compulsory to change names to the Japanese style, but was voluntary for those who wished to apply for it. Initially, permission from the court was required, but this can be changed only by notification. On March 5, 1920, the Chuseon-ilbo was launched. On April 1, 1920, the Dong-a-ilbo was launched. Korean Shrine. It was founded in 1919, in particular after the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937. The Governor-General of Korea encouraged worship, but there was also opposition. In April 1944, for the first time, Korean women were dispatched to a factory in Shizuoka, Japan. By the end of the war, the number of Korean women dispatched to Japan was estimated by a researcher to be as high as 4,000, while the other estimates it to be about 10,000. In any case, compared to the 472,573 members of Japan's Women's Volunteer Corps, it is significantly smaller than the population ratio. After Japan's defeat on August 15, 1945, administration of the northern part of the Korean Peninsula was transferred to the Soviet Union, and the administration of the southern part of the Korean Peninsula was transferred to the United States. The British traveler Isabella Bard argued that two conditions were essential for the Koreans in the Korean Peninsula to become wealthy. One is that Korea doesn't have the ability to reform itself from within, so it must be reformed from without. The other is that the king's powers must be subject to strict and permanent constitutional restraints. As for the cruel punishments, he said that after she came under the influence of Japan, torture was forbidden, as was the punishment exposing severed heads and bodies, whipping, and killing by cutting off the body little by little. The British traveler Alain Ireland argued that Japan began by collecting the evil of Korea and then introduced culture and technology to raise the standard of living of the entire population. Rather than investing enormous amounts of money and human resources to achieve this and extracting profits from them, Japan is said to have tried to raise the level to the same level as mainland Japan as part of Japan. The former president of South Korea, Park Chung-hee, who was educated during the Japan's rule, said, "I don't think the Japan's rule was so bad, even though I was from very poor rural family and could not go to school. Japan ordered that parents didn't make their children receive compulsory education would be punished. So my parents had no choice but to send me to school, though I was an important labor force. My performances were good, so a Japanese teacher recommended that I go to a teacher training school. After that, I was graduated from the military academy in Manchuria, and I could enter into the military academy in Tokyo, where I'm able to be graduated at the top of my grade." At the graduation ceremony, I led a speech on behalf of the graduates, including Japanese students. "I think Japan's education was relatively fair, and I don't want to emotionally condemn the politics that Japan did. Rather, I appreciate." Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel to maintain these education activities. I'm looking forward to seeing you again.